Thank you for joining me today on Christine's Awesome Things. I am Christine, and today I am going to be showing you how to make dressing. Yes, dressing. Not to be confused with stuffing. Dressing is made from cornbread and is dressed up and baked, and it's a side dish. Stuffing, however, is made from dry, cut up bread, and it's generally used to stuff inside of a turkey while the turkey is baking. That is the difference. When you're making a dressing, the first thing you'll need is cornbread. You can use the box cornbread, or you can make it from scratch. I make mine from scratch. To make your cornbread from scratch, first thing you'll need a medium-sized bowl and a whisk. The dry ingredients, you're going to need a cup of cornmeal, yellow cornmeal is the best in my opinion, a cup of all-purpose flour, 4 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. Those will be your dry ingredients. And here's the rest. First thing you're going to do is mix your dry ingredients together. Make sure they're incorporated in there really good. Then you're going to add your wet ingredients, which is your egg, your shortening, and your milk. And mix those in well. Don't overmix. Once you've mixed everything in together, you're going to pour it into your greased pan that you're going to use to bake your cornbread in. And you're going to put it in the oven, preheated oven. You want to put it in a preheated oven at 425 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in this pan, in this cast iron skillet. Because like I said, I was taught to cook it in a cast iron skillet. That's what we had, and it's just, they turn out so well. Alright, so now that this is poured in the pan and everything, this is going to go in a preheated oven at 425 for 20 minutes. So while my cornbread is in the oven cooking, the next thing you want to do is add your vegetables. For dressing, it's going to be onions, bell peppers, celery. If you want celery, I usually add celery to mine. And you also want to, if you have it, add your smoked turkey, turkey wings, turkey legs. If you're going to add turkey to it, I recommend smoked turkey. You want to kind of boil that down first in a big pot. Put your turkey leg and your turkey wing in there. Boil it until it's soft, because it's pretty hard to cut up when it's just bought the way it is. And save that water that you boil your turkey leg and your turkey wing in, because that's going to be the broth that you need to make your dressing. Now, if you're not adding meat to yours, you're going to need a broth. You can use beef, or you can use chicken. For mine, I am going to add a combination of both. You're also going to add a little bit of sugar, salt, and pepper to your dressing. So once the cornbread is ready, you want to let it cool off, and I'll come back and show you the process of assembling it. Everybody, I am back, and I took my cornbread out of the oven. I let it cool off completely, and I put it in my pan. You can use a casserole dish. I'm using a pan that's pretty deep because when you cook dressing, it does tend to kind of puff a little bit before it cools off. I have broken up my cornbread. When you're making your dressing, And after you break up your cornbread, remember your ingredients. There's going to be onion, bell pepper, celery, seasoning salt, a little sugar, and one thing I need to mention, sage. Okay, sage. Okay, that is a key thing when making dressing. You need sage. If you're doing a dressing for, say, Thanksgiving, a lot of people make giblet gravy. Okay, giblet gravy, you're going to boil your turkey gizzards, turkey neck, and turkey heart in water. You need to do that in order to make your giblet gravy, right? Well, the water that's left over from them turkey innards, you're going to use to put it in your dressing, to moisten your dressing. Okay, so make sure you get a decent amount of water when you're boiling your turkey neck and gizzards or whatever you're using. I am not making a turkey this year, so I'm going to be using a combination of chicken broth and beef broth. Okay, so right now my cornbread and everything is broken up how I want it, and I'm adding my onions and bell peppers, and I'm going to go ahead and mix that in because I want to make sure that everything is incorporated in there really good. Alright, so next I'm going to add a little seasoning salt. Now, it's not an exact art of how you want to add or how much you want to add, okay? Now I'm going to add sage. Do not add too much sage. Sage will make your dressing green, and sage has a powerful aroma, okay? And then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar just to give it a little bit of a bump and a kick. Then I'm going to mix that all in there. How much you want to add is up to you. And yes, if you notice, I am using my hands, my fingers. They are clean. I find it easier to use my hands because I can make sure everything is in there. Look for any pieces that might need to be broken up a little bit. It makes it easier. I'm going to add a little bit more sage to this. So this is about 2.5 tablespoons of sage. Ooh, look at that. Got a little bit more there. Okay. Depending on how you like your dressing. Again, you can add however much you want to add. And now I'm going to add my broth, chicken and beef. Start with the chicken. So that's going to be about 1/2 cup of chicken. And now we're going to do 1/2 cup of beef. And then we're going to mix it around in there, and you're going to be able to tell by mixing it if you need to add more. You do not want a dry dressing, okay? Dry dressing does not taste well. Right now, this is dry. So I'm going to add another cup of each. So at this point, I'm doing 2 cups. ½ cup at first and another ½ cup. So that means that I'm doing a cup of chicken broth and a cup of beef broth. And I am mixing it in here, feeling to see if it's moistened, making sure every piece has its moisture in there. How much you add, how much you do will determine how much you would add, how much broth you would add. Okay, so this is still a little bit dry. So this is another 1/4 and another 1/4. So I'm up to a cup and 1 1/4 cup of chicken broth and 1 1/4 cup of beef broth. All right, so now I have the moisture that I want. You want to make sure that it is moist, okay? You can even saturate it if you want to. If it's a little bit watery, you're just going to cook it longer, okay? So there's no way really that you're going to overdo it, but you want to start off, you know, a little bit at a time to see how how much moisture is in there. Okay, so one of the things I forgot to add tell you about, I'm sorry, I was doing it off camera and I forgot to mention it, butter. You need butter in your dressing. About 4 tablespoons of butter, cut up into pieces. Mix it around in there, press it in there if you want. You just want to make sure it gets through there. All right. And now we're going to cover it up with foil and put it in the oven on 375 for about 40 minutes. All right. All right, so I just took my dressing out of the oven. It's still hot. It hasn't even been out 5 minutes, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm going to get a fork and show you something. See that? That is some good dressing right there. Not dry and not too saturated. All right, so with that being said, our dressing is done. And one of the things that you can add to your dressing, you can add meat. A lot of people add meat. It's great. I did not add meat this time to my dressing because I'm not doing a turkey. But when you have like turkey necks, or if you want to buy an extra smoked turkey wing or leg, after you boil it to make your turkey broth for your dressing, you can actually use the leg or the wing or even the neck of the turkey, the giblets, whatever. Chop it up, shred it, mix it into your dressing before you bake it. Put it in there at the same time you will put your broth and your seasoning and your vegetables in there, and it's delicious. In fact, in most of the households that I've eaten Thanksgiving dinner in, my grandmother, my auntie, my mom, they always added turkey to their dressing. I'm not doing turkey this year, so that's the only reason I didn't add it, but it's great. So that's our recipe for today. If you have any comments or anything you'd like to add, just comment below. Make sure to watch my other videos. Right now, this is around Thanksgiving time, and I'm actually cooking Thanksgiving dinner during this video. And I'm going to be finishing up my Thanksgiving meal. I'm doing my peach cobbler. You can watch my other videos, and I show you how to do a peach cobbler. I'll be coming out with more videos, so make sure you click that notification button, that little bell that you see, and make sure you like and subscribe and share my video. All right, this has been Christine of Christine's Awesome Things, and have a wonderful holiday.